It's time for The Local with your host and realtor, Katie McKinney.
Welcome to The Local with Katie McKinney. Hey guys, it's Katie. Today I am here with Michayla Wiegert, who is our photographer, our real estate photographer, among other things. Michaela, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
She's super excited. Is this the first podcast you've ever been on?
This is it.
Awesome. So Michaela is a mother of three, a boss woman. She does it all really. And she does Allie and I's personal family photos and stuff. But she also does our real estate photography, as I mentioned. We actually just did a series on this, and it says, who you hire matters. And our first topic, which I felt like was one of the most important ones, was having a professional photographer shoot the property. So we're super happy to have her here. So thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Michaela, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally? How did you get to Woodward?
I'm from Choctaw, Oklahoma, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's like 25 miles east of Oklahoma City. And I grew up there. That's where I graduated high school, lived there forever, met my husband in school there. But we moved to Woodward in April due to his job.
Okay.
He got relocated.
And he works for?
Oklahoma Natural Gas.
Yep. Awesome. A great employer in the area.
Yep.
So that's neat. And that's the only reason why you guys, had you ever been to Woodward before?
Nope.
Before moving here?
No, whenever he interviewed for the job, they told us it would be Enid or Woodward. And I said, if it's in Enid, I'll go. If it's in Woodward, I won't. And here I am. But no, the first time we came here was when we came to look at houses.
Yeah, awesome.
That was it.
And I actually got to show him some houses, which was really fun. That's how I had met them in April of last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2019.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And now that you've been here a little while, a few months at least, what do you think about Woodward?
I like it.
Yeah.
It was hard to adjust, but I love it now. The people are really nice and welcoming.
Awesome. Well, we're happy that you're here because we couldn't do our job without you. So it's all to you. So how did you get into the photography industry?
Well, I guess growing up, I can remember wanting to be a photographer, and I was always everywhere I went, it was always, this would be a good place to take pictures, or let's take pictures, whatever. But I feel like when I had my kids, that was really kind of what got me going. I bought my first camera to solely take pictures of my kids.
Because they're adorable.
Right, and didn't think it would ever be a business, even though that would be a dream. But they kind of motivated me to pursue it, and it has allowed me to be a stay-at-home mom too, which is great, and I love. But probably my kids, they've really inspired me and motivated me to do it.
And what ages are they?
My oldest is 5, 2, and my youngest just turned 1 in December.
So I told you she is a busy woman. And her youngest's name is Denver, which I think is adorable. So good name choosing there. So obviously we know how you got into the photography industry. What types of photography do you do?
I do real estate, obviously. I do everything besides newborns.
Okay.
For the most part.
Okay.
I do the Fresh 48 and the hospital pictures, lifestyle newborns at people's houses. But I don't do posed newborns.
Okay.
My main focus is weddings, engagements, couples, and families, of course. But weddings is really where I headed.
And I know you moved here, but you were in the Choctaw area. So what is the balance like? I know you have a lot of great clientele there in that area still, and now you have a clientele in Woodward as well.
Yep.
So kind of where's that balance? Or is there a balance?
I don't think so.
You're just everywhere, just driving.
That's my goal for 2020, to find the balance. But when we moved here in April, I was going to the city once a week for pictures. Once a weekend at least. We were staying up there a lot. But then once I kind of started getting more clientele here, I found that we couldn't stay there. So I drove there for a day and came back here. So, I'm going to the city once a week.
Yeah, still.
So, yeah.
Still,
so I'm hoping to kind of find a way to manage the time better this year and not go there so often because I hate the drive.
I know the drive is long, but I'm sure you've got a lot of clientele there that really love your work, or else they wouldn't be still asking you to go make the trip. And obviously you're gaining clientele here as well, not just in the real estate. So seniors, you do senior
I do seniors. I do
weddings,
seniors.
engagement, lifestyle.
Yep.
Okay,
Families.
awesome.
Yep.
So if you need any of those services, you know who to call. She does have a really great social media presence. What are the different platforms that you're on?
Mainly Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
For the most part, yeah.
Do you have a website?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just Michayla Wiegert Photography. You might have to
I was going to say, I think
tag me because it's hard to spell.
Yeah, it is. That's why I always say Wiegert, but I'm always incorrect. So, well, thank Cody for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what are a few common misconceptions about photography or being a photographer?
I would say the biggest one is people thinking that we show up to an hour photo shoot and like our job's done. Like that's it.
Yes.
It's just like the hour there. And I think it's hard for clients or people like not in the industry to wrap your mind around like everything that goes into it.
Right.
You know, like from talking to the client to figuring out the location to styling to the actual photo shoot. And then you have the editing, which is a long process, delivering galleries and everything from beginning to end. So I think it's hard for people to like wrap their mind around all the time that we spend outside of the 1 hour we're with them.
Yeah, most definitely.
Along with like every other thing that goes with running a business. So there's just like a lot of time being put into each individual session. And I think it's hard I think people truly think we just show up for an hour and like, that's
for
it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But there's a lot to it.
Right. Yeah.
I know editing takes hours alone. You know,
I mean, you spend more time editing than you do
anything.
on the photo, you know, at the shoot. So
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
The only other one is, I think with anything, people assume that, you know, the more expensive equipment, the better.
Right.
The better.
That's a good one.
And that's not necessarily the case. I mean, like for me, I usually put price and like quality, you know, put those two things go together in my mind, but that's not necessarily the case for photography, because if you don't know how to work what you have, you know, then spending more money buying something more because you think it's going to be better isn't necessarily the case.
Another photographer could have a brand new camera, but if they don't know how to do either the editing portion or the right angles or whatever, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I find that isn't necessarily like, I think more seasoned photographers know that. It's usually like people wanting to get into photography. They just think I need to start out with like the best. And I would always suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
Start out, learn the basics, then, you know, upgrade.
All those entrepreneurs out there, listen to that. It takes time to improve your craft and to get the best. I mean, really, in my opinion. Same for every career, I feel like, or a lot of the industries. If you just want to start with the most expensive or maybe the highest overhead, sometimes that's not always the answer. And a lot of times it's not.
Right. It's not.
Even if you have to start small, you're going to get there with a lot of hard work. So just like Michaela has. So I've got one question, or I guess if you can give us some tips. A lot of sellers, before we're listing a property, of course I know these because I've had to know these even before you came along. I don't know what I did without you, but we spent a lot of hours trying to be a photographer. I guarantee you that. But what's important for sellers to know, some helpful tips and tricks before their property is professionally photographed?
I would say just make sure, you know, everything's put up. Certain things like aren't left out. Of course, like, you know, as well as I do, when Allie and I go to properties, we do like a quick walkthrough and fix like, you know, put the things up that aren't out. I would say make sure that you have curtains that can be moved, blinds that can be opened, because we have to have light.
Yes.
That's really it.
Toilet seats.
Toilet seats need to be down. That's true.
She does not want to have to touch your toilet seat to take that thing down.
Toilet seats need to be down.
And towels and robes.
Yep.
Oh man, I have so many stories about, you know, taking photos, and, you know, I mean, that's the thing. It makes her job a lot easier if you do that, and it also makes the photographs look so much better when it is, you know, Marie Kondo your house a little bit before you're going to list your property, at the very least, just make sure that your countertops are clear of clutter and that your toilet seats are down, because those are things that we don't really necessarily want to have to do.
That's what I was going to say too. Like,
Yes.
showcase your counter space.
Yes.
Put the things away
That's a
so we
really good
can
point.
showcase them.
What about your closets? It's an interesting topic.
It is, because like a lot of people use that for storage.
Yes.
But I would just say like have it as organized as possible. Have things hung up right, not just like thrown up there on shelves. Those photos aren't really posted,
Right.
but they're good for the potential buyers.
Yeah, exactly. If they want to see, if they're an out-of-state buyer and they want to see closet space or storage space, at least we have that photo in case. And especially if you have a huge walk-in closet, and we want to showcase that.
Yeah, the more organized, the bigger it's going to look.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
You're gonna show the size.
What about off-season clothing? Would you consider maybe putting that in storage?
Yeah.
Okay. Like big heavy winter
so I
jackets?
guess if you know you're going to sell your house, then yes,
Okay.
I would say that, but I don't do that. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to-
You don't change
hard
out
for me
your
to
clothes.
preach that,
Is
but-
your closet not color coordinated?
Nope, it's not.
I
don't have time.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine used to be when I first moved into my new house, but no, it's not
seasoned.
anymore.
It's like seasoned. I have tank tops,
There you
t-shirts,
go.
but not color coordinated.
So even
Not
if
a
you're
chance.
not like OCD like me sometimes or Allie, you can still have a decluttered closet so
Yep.
that you can highlight that walk-in space. Maybe if you've got a nice walk-in. I think those are all good things. And another thing that I would suggest that most people don't talk about or don't want to talk about, having any firearms or
Ooh, yeah.
knives, because if you have a very expensive item or maybe not dangerous by any means, but something you have prized possession that, somebody needs to, you don't want to show all your goods on your photographs.
Right, yeah.
And so would you suggest putting those away? Yeah.
And I think that can sometimes like have a negative view from certain potential buyers. You know what I mean?
I think so too. Exactly. So maybe stow those away, put them in the safe, put your, diamonds and valuables away as well. Before, for the photos, you don't want people online knowing what you have. And so, I think those are all really good things. You can't share one of your craziest photography sessions, though I know you have a lot, and you just had one with me. We won't talk about that one. But when you tell Michaela and Allie where a loading chute is and some pins, they may not know what you're talking about. I said, go over there and take some pictures of the pins and the loading chute. Allie says, the ramp. I said, the ramp for cattle. So anyway, they got it done. But I would think that I should have gone.
You should have gone.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I know you're a busy mama and busy woman and businesswoman, so thank you so much. Lastly, what is your favorite part about doing business in Woodward in Northwest Oklahoma?
So far, the people. I think just being in a small town allows you to like build personal relationship with clients.
Yeah.
Like in the city, when you're busier, it's hard. You don't have that time to like build that relationship. And I've got to do that here with a lot of my clients, whether it's becoming friends on social media and like just following each other. But the people are nice. The people in Woodward are nicer than any town I've ever lived in.
That's
so,
really awesome.
yeah.
See, you didn't even want to have to move
I
here.
know.
See, we're growing on you.
That's right.
Well, Michaela, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much.